Testing my voice, making sure the audio is working. Test. This is just a test. This is just a test to see if you can hear me. I doubt that you can, but let's give it a try. This is a test. Everybody loves a test. Test. Everybody loves tests. Unless, of course, you don't love tests, in which case, ignore that it's a test. This is a test to make sure that the audio is working. This is a test to make sure I'm coming through clear and easy. And it's working. Let's test this. Unless, of course, you don't love tests, in which case, really quiet. Ignore that it's a test. Is it because this is This is a test to make sure the audio is working. This is a test to make sure I'm clear and easy. And let me just test this on a different device, because it might be that it's just literally because I'm streaming it on the same device. Bear with me just a moment. This is a test of my audio, making sure that the audio is working. This is a test of my audio, making sure that the audio is working. Huh. It's still a little bit weird. That is very strange. Very strange. I don't know why that's happening. Maybe that's it. Sometimes this boost thing does cause it. I don't know why. We'll have to see how that goes. Okay, welcome back everyone. Woo! It's Cities Skylines o'clock. So what we're going to do today is continue on with the waterfront area. Let's just hit play, see how things cope. We are trying to stream again because last time we tried, it just didn't work because I'm guessing the game was a little bit unoptimized, but there's been another patch, so hopefully the problems that we were experiencing no longer happen, but basically the stream would cut out. That was uncontrollable to me. I couldn't do anything about it. It was just a case of the stream would just randomly die. So I think what we'll try doing is just keeping an eye on it. So I'm just gonna keep an eye on like the stream health and what have you. But in this particular episode, I want to continue out the A road here, or what I consider an A road. So the sort of highway here that's set up for stuff to come along to here, and we want to connect it in down this way. And the idea being that this will service areas down here when we actually get to that point, but we've obviously unlocked this area thinking we're going to be building out this way. So what I would also like to try out, now I'm a little bit unsure about the intersections because they might just be a little bit bad, but let's see what they're like, and I'm gonna unlock them here. So if we hit pause and we go into the intersections library, yeah, it looks like there's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 of them. So there aren't that many, but you've got your bog standard trumpet, so that's good. It looks like the slope might be affecting things here. Let's just double check the... Oh yeah, it is quite a hilly area. Okay, that's something that we're going to have to keep an eye on. I think the rail might also affect things here, so we've just got to keep an eye on those two things. Hopefully there's a junction which is possible for such a thin area, but oh, it doesn't look too hopeful. There's a lot of really interesting intersections though, and one thing I've noticed already is that even though it's on quite a hilly area, the game's doing what it can to try and allow this stuff to just exist. Whereas one thing that you always found in Cities Skylines 1, don't know whether you're familiar with it, but if you're in a hill area like this and you try to put down, I'm just going to lower the volume on this because it's quite loud actually. If you're in a hilly area like this and you try and put down a ready-made or a prefabricated sort of intersection, it would just have nothing but problems when you're trying to place it. But in a matter of fact, this one's, like, these aren't too bad. They're doing quite well. That's quite a fancy one. I quite like how it's sort of a figure of 8 roundabout, or almost like that. Oh, you got your diamond interchanges. Nice, nice. What looks like maybe... Okay, so you've got a highway going through the middle either way, but one of them is just a one-lane highway. You've got your clover leaf, your bog standard clover leaf. That's pretty familiar. Wow, that's quite a big interchange. That's huge. Like, if we were to compare this to our entire downtown and uptown, it's enormous. Look at the size of it. Jeez. But at the same time, somewhere like out here, where, you know, I do want to build out this way in time, it could be quite good. But that being said, I don't know whether I'd really want such a big highway going through this way to a mountain. But yeah, that's interesting that they've got such a big one. It's weird that there aren't more of them. These are all sort of highway intersections as well. There aren't any that are just bog standard roads. And what I mean by that is, yeah, these are all highways. I mean, that's great because the highway intersections can be quite, especially if you're inexperienced in the game, it can be quite a difficulty to get right. But admittedly, like, these are very large intersections, and in the spaces that we've had to put things in, it's not necessarily that much space. So I think what we're going to have to do is probably something a little bit more custom. So it sucks that we spent some points on getting this, but quite frankly, it's not bad stuff. It's actually fairly good stuff. Like, out here, this would be perfect, especially where it's I'm really impressed by how it's conforming to the hills and all the different levels of topography, or what I mean by that is the landscape around. I don't think there's a dedicated one to see like terrain height, is there? You can see it in the roads menu, but that's about all. So you can see, like, there's a lot of different height lines around here, and it's quite a difficult area for a ready-made sort of thing, but it's almost a bit dynamic in a way that it's conforming to the road that it's being placed, or the area that it's being placed. And look, it's even trying to do a... That's really impressive, that. It's trying to do like a bridge over the top of that other road. I mean, obviously it's not perfect, and it's not going to be 100%, but it's really impressive that it's trying to do that. quite frankly, because compared to what we're used to, that's above and beyond. So I'm really impressed by that. I think what we're going to have to do though is, as I said, a more sort of bespoke thing. So if we come out here, I don't necessarily want it to be so far along here. Do we have any spots that we can buy? No, we can't. We have 0 permits. Sorry, just having a sip of my tea. Yeah, that's going to be a bit tricky in this area. So we could probably place one like here and here. That's very close, and quite frankly, I don't think we want that. So what we could try doing is breaking these nodes up a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to build a road through here and here. And I'm going to literally just measure out where we want the nodes to go to. So we sort of want something like that. So if we then upgrade the highway between these to 3 lanes, in fact I think that's going to probably be off center. That's a bit annoying. Let's try again doing it that way. So I've just got to be conscious about where I actually upgrade it, because it moves it along. So you can see it sort of wiggles it around, even with the snapping, but it's so much more fluid without the snapping. And it's really great that that's an option. So what we need to now do is take out these roads that we just put in. I think we're literally just going to try and do something very free flowing. I'm very surprised that there aren't that many intersections, considering how easy it is to make your own. You would have thought they would have made that a lot more fleshed out as such. Yeah, this isn't working too well. It's hard with that rail line so close here. Let's try taking this back. Luckily the nodes are quite forgiving there, and it doesn't actually allow you to delete a piece of track that's not in your workable area, which is quite good because it means that you can't sort of ruin something so you can't actually get back to it. Right, okay, let's try this again. Now that we've got more space, if we go back down to 0 meters, so I'm going to give it a little bit more space now that we've got more space, and I'm trying to use this tool with the... In fact, that's way further than I thought it would be. This complex line tool is quite good in a way, because it means that you can create these very interesting sort of roads. I'm just trying to get it. Let's try like that. And then coming over this way. So I'm trying to keep the speed there. And then we'll go back down to the normal tool. So down to 0 meters here, and it's going down a hill, which makes it a little bit harder to work with, but that's fine, we've managed. Right, so that's one of the lines, one of the roads even. These guidelines can be a little bit tricky at times. Sometimes you don't want them. There we go. So that's one of the roads, and then we sort of want a parallel, don't we? So let's put in a parallel. That is going in the right direction, isn't it? Yes. We actually want it the other way around. So if we go from sort of here down to there, so that gives us our parallel road. In fact, this is a very large intersection that we put in. So if we try and maybe move it a little bit closer, that could help with getting things into these spaces. I don't want to create a load of dead space, basically. So let's try moving this back. I think it really relies on, or depends on this road, because it's going over the top of the other one. So if we go to 10 meters here, and we're actually going to turn on all of our snaps just so that we've got them available. We don't want the parallel tool. Right, okay, so that's going to come down, and perfect. It doesn't have to affect the road there. That's good. So that will turn into our two-way road there. Let's just go ahead and put this in at this point. That gives us something to aim for. We don't want the parallel tool. And then we'll do a nice sweeping curve into that one. I really love these tools. They just make it so much easier to actually build great intersections. So what I think we'll do is probably a complex curve here going underneath. I think it needs to be, there we go. Can we make it go back up on the other side? No. Okay, let's try just a simple curve. No, it's definitely having some issues there. It's probably because it's not already in a... If it's not already in a tunnel, I can imagine it would be causing some problems there. I don't know whether that's going to work, but we can try it. Slope too steep. Yeah, that's unfortunate. Okay. Oh yeah, we've got the underground, don't we? Underground mode. Alright, what if we try it out more straight? Take it down to... know, your mileage may vary, but I find these a little bit tricky to actually work with. I just want to keep it straight, please. And then we're going to be bringing that up here as far as we can to try and get that in over here. So this is where the complex curve tool, I find, really shines, because you can basically do a curve in and out like that really easily. I mean, it's a little bit harsh there, but considering we're trying to build into a hill, it's not too bad. Okay, let's try just getting our other side in, and then we might be able to tweak it. Now that I've put these in, it does look a little bit farther away than it needs to be. It might even be easier to come from it at the other side, so I wish there was a button to go into this, but there isn't. Or at least I don't think there is. I may be wrong. So if we do what we did on the other side, we sort of came out like this, and then we went down, didn't we? Well, we went up, but in this one we'll go down. And then we'll want the curve tool, go out to there. We want to take it up as much as possible if we can. No, it's definitely easier going over the top, but admittedly, we've already done that. Maybe if we try a bit more of a curve out and in. I really wish there was a button to just recenter it to 0. That would be great. So we're gonna try let's try going over, because I think the other one was 10 or 12 meters, so maybe if we try 15. No, that's... Ooh. Maybe. But then, will it be able to go down quickly enough? Right, so it will... Oh! Actually, that works. I'm actually quite surprised that it has worked. Well, okay. I'm glad that works. I'm quite surprised though. Okay, cool. So that's our intersection in. I'm just going to use the continuous tool. In fact, what I might do is build through here, because it's going to be a little bit trickier down this way, because I want to go through where these lakes are. So if we then build out this way, and that's fairly flat, which is good. want to keep this flat. So +1 is fairly good. Don't want to go to +6. I want to go to... if that's at 0, then that's absolutely fine. Right, now we have the complex curve tool again that we need. That is actually too far out. Is half... 2.5, there we go. Right, and then if we go out to 1, it's not quite where I want it. Boom. There we go, nice and simple. This is slightly wrong, so what I'm going to do is try and wiggle this back over. There. And then move it over ever so slightly so that it's more... Let's try taking this back a little bit, past the bridge. So then if we try from here, we do not want the parallel tool on this time. Bring that into there. In fact, if we can go... Oh, why has it gone way down? Damn it! I just want it to bridge at this point. Let's try that again. Oh, it's created odd nodes. That's a bit annoying. In fact, let's try building it all the way back. So, if we use the parallel tool curve again, and this was not at 2. So we need that to go up. To about there. And then we need to build out this way. But we want to increase the offset to 1. So does that just change it there? Yeah, it does. Okay. That makes it a little bit harder to work with, but I'm sure we can take it out to 180 degrees and linking in there. And then if we just take that down like so, and if we do the same with this one, ooh. So 180 degrees and going out to where this is. And then we don't want it to be at 5 meters, we want it to be at 0 meters. There we go. As close as we're going to get them, I think. So if we just... Oh, hang on. I want to turn on snapping. Turn these back the other way. Then all of a sudden, we're going from 0.25 to 1 out here. So we want to create a nice complex curve with our road tools, and it's sort of coming down this way. So if we go out like this and then up, we can switch it back to... I think it's probably better to do it as a complex curve actually. So if we do something like this, then all of a sudden that's connected it all up. And we've got a nice junction out here. We just need to put the train line back in. So if we go for... something a bit like this, curving, back in. There we go. All of a sudden we've got a junction through, which allows things to come down to this side from this road and not have to go all the way through this way to get onto that A road, which is great because it means that we can continue things through as we want them. So we've been working on this area down here quite a lot, and it's doing quite well. I'm quite happy with it. The traffic can be a bit of a pain at points. Truth be told, I don't think there's much that we can do about that. It's like here, it's merging. It's almost like it's just not going for it. It's a shame that you can't alter how the lanes work, so I'd have two going straight through, two going right, so the middle one would be shared. And then all of this is backed up here. This is backed up here. This is backed up here. Yeah, it looks like it's a continuous flowing backup of traffic. What can we do to improve this? We could potentially have another way in and out here. So we could put in another road here, but I don't think that's necessarily a great idea because it'll probably affect this road. Maybe we could go underneath and connect into this roundabout, but then we've got the train lines there. Actually, that's built over the top of that's quite an interesting bit of architecture. I'm not sure whether it's meant to do that, but if it is, that's pretty cool that it can build effectively over the top. Does it have like a rear? Yeah, it looks like it's got a rear entrance, so you could probably have like a road on the other side and it would connect in. That's interesting. So yeah, we've been working on this area a fair bit. I don't know what we can do about all this traffic really, because the main problem is that the traffic just isn't really flowing. What could we do? What can we do in order to improve this? Just thinking out loud, if we were to put a road here, like an alleyway out, we could make it so that it can't... That's not what I wanted. I wanted a curve here. We could put it out and then have it connecting over here, but we could put it so that no straight over traffic can happen. So if we go into our tools, turn off straight over, then all of a sudden it's got another way to get out to here or go out to this area. Not that it's going to by default, because I don't think this is as fast a road as everything else, but it's just another way through. What we can also do here is probably upgrade this to the 3-lane road. Probably around here. And then that way we've got separate lanes to do each and everything that traffic wants to do. So that should help with getting stuff to and from this area. And in fact, it's all just going around and coming in this way. But it means that there's a lot less just stagnated traffic. If everything's got stuck going around in the one-way system, then it's a problem, because effectively the traffic here and the traffic here is blocking the traffic from down here. So then it's just a constant feedback loop. What we could try doing, if we had the ability to, would be to stop traffic here. So that means that stuff flowing through has right of way, which is the way that I would set this up if we could do that. Because if there wasn't quite as much traffic here as there is, then all of the stuff flowing through would have right of way, and that would be very good for the various flow of the traffic. But we can't do that, so that's a bit of a shame, but it is how it is. This is quite busy here, isn't it? We could potentially put in a bridge, but to be fair, like, I don't think it's necessarily that much of a problem. It really depends. Like, when we've got a massive clump of people going backwards and forwards constantly and the cars can't go through, then it's a bit of an issue. Because it's just causing it to back up down here. And it's all been designed to try and increase the flow with the 2 lanes being used, but I don't think everything is quite, because if we watch here, we've got cars swapping over. At least they're getting into lane a little bit further back than like right on the where they need to change over. So that's not too bad. This crossing also allows for a little bit more movement there. It's almost a shame that there isn't a 4-lane main road. I mean, it'd be a lot to fit into that sort of space, but I think this is now starting to flow through a little bit more. Oh, is this traffic lighted? No, we don't want that. I mean, we could upgrade this to 2 lanes, but then the problem is I don't know which lanes will continue through. And the whole point of controlling this was to try and make use of all of the lanes. So if we upgrade, yes, it uses both of the outside lanes there, which isn't too bad. But I think we'd rather just keep it like this because it's keeping everything in a well organized line there. And actually, it's starting to flow through. The traffic lights here aren't going to be helping. I didn't realize these were on traffic lights. Are they all on traffic lights? No. Yes, so this is the problem. We need to take the traffic lights off because this is sort of intended for the traffic to just flow through like it is now. And really what we would want to do is put a giveaway here to give the traffic coming through from Maple Street the right of way. But we can't do that. If we put a stop in, it puts a stop in for everyone, and that's not really what a stop's intended to do. You know, annoyingly, we can't just put it in for the stuff off of Bedford Street, which is how I would want it as such. But that's okay. It's now flowing through, which should hopefully mean that stuff starts to pull through from here and starts to move down from up here. I'm wondering if we give it a 3-lane road here, will it allow... yeah, it's allowing 2 lanes of turning, which is kind of what we want, but it just means that it merges further down the road, which could be a bit of a problem. Let's give it a try and just see how it goes. This way we've got 2 lanes from both sides kind of coming down, but then they merge further down. And in fact, if we made that a 3-lane all the way through and upgraded that to 2-lane, it would do that. Why is it put traffic lights back on it? We don't want traffic lights. And actually it's put traffic lights here as well, which might not be that bad of an issue if it controls the pedestrian traffic, which it is. I didn't think this is what it would do, but it actually is. That's fine. Like, we don't mind traffic building up while it's waiting, but it means that we don't just have random people walking across blocking the lanes of traffic as they have in the past, which is perfect. That's exactly how we want it. So actually, 3 lanes all the way through is perfect. Hopefully that will work quite well. Maybe we upgrade this to 2 lanes. I'm hesitant though. I am hesitant of doing that. Why is there a car just randomly stopped? Police car going to here. I see. Securing a crime scene, but blocking all of the traffic while doing so. People are just vaporizing as they go into this, as they wait for this policeman. That's pretty scary, really. I didn't know policemen had that ability to just vaporize traffic. Let's try with 2 lanes. It might work a little bit better. We can but hope. I think the main thing is that we're not allowing traffic to go straight over and effectively block. Excuse me. What are you doing? I think Nigel Ridley is very confused, because that was not the intended maneuver for this junction, but hey ho. You know, as long as no one got hurt, that's the main thing, but geez, take away their license. What are they doing? No. What are they doing? It's almost like they're trying to go straight through regardless of the stop. Or regardless of the no direct through. There isn't actually a sign for it. Also, what's this guy doing? Like, traffic in this game is really bizarre. Why are you doing a 3-point turn? What's he doing? I wonder whether maybe a roundabout might go quite well here. I mean, it's not beautiful and it's not perfect. Also, what's this lane for? Oh, for going... no, I don't want it to be able to... You shouldn't be coming down here and just turning around in this junction. There is no feasible way to do a U-turn here. Just go round and come back. Like, literally, like, why? What are you gonna do? He's trying it again. Right, so that's what they're trying to do, is just go straight through, but they really shouldn't be able to do that. I know there is a mechanic to stop people, like if they're an impatient driver or whatever, they'll do that, but surely it wouldn't be every single car that comes down here, right? I might be wrong. Maybe it's every single car that's coming down here. Maybe they're purposefully coming down here because they're trying to get over this way. Let's put in a little bit of mixed use there. We have demand out the wazoo. Look at this. We've got so much industrial demand, so much office demand, so much commercial demand, and so much low density residential demand. I swear this one's just broken because we've had it forever. I don't know what we can do about that. To a certain degree, I've just decided to ignore the demand because they just don't really work that well. We don't want this. We want no traffic lights, thank you. Again, this would be a perfect area where we could control, so put a giveaway or a stop here, and all the other traffic can flow through as it's intended to, but this is just causing quite a problem here. It's all this, where we have these traffic lights here. In some ways, this should be traffic lighted because we've got stuff going across here, got stuff going across here. I don't think a stop would even do the trick. Did I hear? There's some sirens somewhere. Maybe if we had a decent sized roundabout here, that might do the trick. think this is a bit of a nightmare. What can we do about this? We could reduce this down to 1 lane, and then in theory the lanes would work a lot better. Let's try it. Let's try it and see. So things are going to have to work out what they're doing here, but once they start to work their way through, this is a bit of an oof. Again, if we had 1 lane, you know what, let's do it. Let's frickin' do it. Because this is not how these are intended. This one being 2, especially where we've got 2 lanes coming up here, is perfectly fine. But I'm thinking having individual lanes should work so much better. We just have to actually let it run and see how it goes. So it's going to take a little while for all of the traffic to flow through, but even now this has started to come straight through with no problems there. That's doing quite well. You just have to give way. Maybe if we take the stop off... Oh, is it traffic lights? Take off traffic lights, of course. We don't want traffic lights, and we don't... Let's try taking off the stop. Is it a stop? Why can't I remove the stop? What's going on? Let's remove the traffic lights. There. So now stuff should be able to flow through. We do have the problem of pedestrians getting in the way, but stuff can turn left here, stuff can turn right here, stuff can turn left down that way. I think once it starts to work its way around, it's going to take a little while, but once it starts to flow through, that should be perfect. It's just a case of we've got quite a large road down here, which this isn't really doing many favours, because squishing it all down into 1 lane, even though it's perfect for creating the lanes that we want on the road, it's not having a very good effect further back. It's also giving the wrong traffic priority, which is the frustrating thing here. If we could just control priority and allow this stuff to move, it wouldn't cause any of these problems, but we don't have those tools in the game. And it's very frustrating that we don't. Because surely Paradox and Colossal Order aren't dumb. They understand, you know, right of way and giving traffic priority. And for some reason it's given this one the highest priority, led by this one, what it seems like, rather than this one. I mean, we could put traffic lights on it, which would, in fact, it's starting to clear through. It might start to work. For some reason this car's just decided to stop. Oh, because it's got traffic coming up here. See, it's giving way correctly. It's actually giving way to this lane, but we don't want it here in the center of the junction. We want it here. But then again, you could argue, well, you're not going to see traffic coming up here until you get to here, but we just need to be able to put in proper rules. If we could have, say, traffic lights that we control a little bit more, rather than just dumb traffic lights that don't really work. If we could control which lanes the traffic goes into. One thing we definitely don't want is, it's not in this, traffic or pedestrians crossing there. In some effects, we want them to cross where the traffic's actually going out from here, because then it stops stuff from flowing from there and allows other pedestrians to go. They still just ignore the crossing not being there. Right. It's actually giving way really well. Look, it's giving way to this car coming up here, and then it's going. And it's giving way to the pedestrians, and it's going. It's just not where we would expect it. It's also annoying that we can't control it. But hey ho, I'm not going to beat that drum into submission. We don't necessarily want people crossing here. We have ways for them to get that up and down that way. What do we actually have zoned here? For some reason... Oh, that was not what I meant to do, but hey ho. Oh, that's perfect. Okay. So if we can control the zoning a bit more here, it means that we can put in... What is this? Mixed. Mixed. I mean, this is very high traffic. Like, it's got 90 odd households and 134 residents. I'm not too sure whether we want that here, or whether we want a smaller... That might be also partly the problem. So let's try removing these. And replacing them with lower throughput stuff. Hopefully that will have the desired effect that we want. Oh, that's pretty cool. It's got an under construction percentage. How come these ones have cranes? In fact, this one, which is a very similar footprint, has a crane, but this one doesn't. I would have thought if it's such a small footprint, it doesn't really need a crane quite as much, but what do I know? The one benefit here, if we put traffic lights in, is that it would reduce the amount of just pedestrians crossing constantly. The annoying thing is the pedestrians crossing doesn't seem to... I'm trying to work out whether if a pedestrian... So from what we can see here, this lane has the lowest priority on the hierarchy of giving way. This one, again, has the highest, annoyingly. So what I'm trying to figure out is if, say, pedestrians are crossing here, whether these ones can then go. What we don't want is for them to be blocking the way in here. So if we reduce the amount of movement there, hopefully that will have the desired effect. Oh, is that car parking up in a building that's not even been built yet? That's weird. What are they doing? Okay. You're disappearing into a building that doesn't exist. But you do you. It's annoying because this bit's blocked, because this bit's blocked, because this bit's blocked, because this bit's blocked. But what we want is for the stuff on this one-way system to have right of way constantly, but it just really doesn't. If we could just upgrade it so that it has the right of way, and that these ones give way to this, and this stuff gives way to this. That might be one of the biggest... what was that? What was that noise? Oh, jeez. We've got a collapsed building. Building is collapsed due to lack of maintenance. That's not good. How do you increase? Why are their average wealth wealthy? These are meant to be low. That one's abandoned. All of these are abandoned. Is it something to do with the university being right next to it? I wonder whether we can fit in a path here. Can we do a path? That might look a little bit nicer, mightn't it? So are people going to start using that? Or they are. So if we did a path from here over to down here, maybe if we pick somewhere quite centralized, I mean that is quite central. Let's see what effect that has on the traffic around this area, because I'm hoping if we put in more walkability, that's a word, isn't it? Then hopefully people won't use cars. Again, if we try from here up to here, that's too much slope, is it? What if we try it from further back? it's too much of a slope. That's a bit of a shame. It would have been quite a nice little connection there. This is very high. Not too sure about this. But people are using this path. I just wonder whether they actually get into the university from this side, or whether they have to go round to where there's a road. How do we know if they're getting into this overly filled up capacity building? I don't think there is a way to check. Again, we're having problems with traffic here. And it's all because the wrong lanes are given priority here. I don't know what we can do to improve it, because until we can set it up as a system so that the stuff on this one-way system has right of way, we're not going to be able to do anything. Adding more lanes doesn't necessarily fix the fundamental flaw that is the wrong traffic. You don't want to add more traffic into a system that's failing. Which is frustrating, because if we could just control that one area, this would work a lot better. Maybe if we did... If we just ignore the roads that are in, or the buildings that are in the middle there, and we try creating a slip road the way that we need it to work, we can see if it works at least. Because ultimately, that was a bad move. You can't control Z it either. I don't know what I've just done. Let me just start over here. So if we were to reduce this side down to 2 lanes, but take off the turning right lane, and then if we were to do the same here, take off the right hand turn lane, that's interesting that it's created almost like a island in the middle. I mean, it's not the prettiest, but it has done it. It has actually created a sort of island in the middle there. So my question is, can we bring this further back so that there's 3 lanes? No. Maybe that would work? I think we're going to have to tinker with it a lot. But if we take out this lane And we want it to come out this direction and then go into here at that level. And then if we take the 2-lane from this one, upgrade this middle bit to 3. We can't really do that, can we? Okay. It's not exactly how I want it, but we will make do with what we've got. So, do that, and then no right-hand turns here. So the traffic here is dedicated to going straight on and left. That might work. So let's hit play. Let's remove traffic lights where they're nonsensically put in. Again, it's giving the wrong damn traffic right of way. No, I don't want that to go straight over. I mean, it's interesting. It's definitely an interesting sort of traffic scenario. It's just annoying that it's not quite the way that we want it. It's also created one massive node here, which is problematic here. Let's try separating these roads up. If it will allow us. So let's go completely freehand with it. Okay. Let's turn snapping back on, turn the direction the correct way. And then with this one, we're going into those 2 lanes at the other end. Yeah, that looks to be correct. And then this one is coming in, well, effectively there. Okay, we've got something that we can work with here. So we effectively want to turn off traffic lights. We might even want to upgrade these to 2 lanes going through. Maybe. Let's just see if it works. We also want to probably remove some of these crosswalks because this is a little bit manic. So let's remove them from the middle sections. Let's just remove all of this from being built on, so we don't have buildings on the middle. That should mean that there shouldn't be pedestrians in the middle, and hopefully that will have a positive impact. So let's remove pedestrian crossings here and here. There. There. So the middle is an island. We don't want it to get affected. We missed a crossing. I love it how the lanes split here, yet they still decide they want to change here. I don't want to jinx it, but I think we might have done it. Again, no traffic light, no crossings there. I don't really know what this traffic's doing, but this is flowing a little bit better than it was before. Oh no, that's another building collapse. Jeez, why are these just collapsing? That's dodgy as hell. Can I make this more safe somehow? Combustion engine ban, no, that's not what we want. Electric consumption, no. Gated community, no. Heavy traffic ban, no. Recycling, roadside parking fee, no. Like, this isn't what I want. I'm just trying to think how we... Oh wow, we are in a deficit. We are importing a lot of grain. And a lot of timber as well. That's interesting. We are really not taxing the highly educated, are we? Effectively, we want this to be 3 lanes and not traffic lighted. Why does it always put this on by default? That's almost perfect, that. So we've got a lane going round uninterrupted, which is exactly how we want it. This is traffic lighted though. We don't want that. If anything, we want that one lane to be traffic lighted, but I don't think we're going to be able to do that. And in fact, what we can do is make this look a lot better by taking 2 lanes out from, let's turn off snapping here and going in there. Overlapping items, I think that's the path that's causing it, and this building probably. So if we actually turn on the snapping, it won't actually allow us to draw that. It will allow us to draw that, just not... That is what we wanted. So if we turn off right hand turn there, take off all of these crossings again, because we don't want them. We don't want them. We don't want people getting into the middle. unless we specify it. Traffic lights might actually be quite a good... I only want them for the traffic going into the one-way system. It's a bit of a shame. But that may have a really positive effect. Everything else is dual laned up, so we might as well just dual lane this sucker as well. So much stuff wants to go down this way. It's bananas. Why is there just a random floating ambulance icon? There must have been a building there once upon a time. It's a shame that we can't do something to... It's all pedestrians, isn't it? It's just pedestrians everywhere. Maybe removing the pedestrian crossing will fix things, he says. Okay, maybe what we need is a better way for pedestrians to get across. Because currently, there isn't really a way. Also, I don't want roadside parking on this one-way system. Is there just a way to remove that? I'm guessing we have to do wide sidewalks. It's not really had the entire desired effect. Oh, right, we have to do it to both sides. Okay, that's fine. So it's 2 clicks, not 1. That's perfectly fine. Right. Briarwood Street. Again, we need pedestrian management. So, if we go up 10 meters, go across here maybe, and we need the same over here. So, create some really interesting walkways across, hopefully with them using the space in the middle that we put in. It's not curving. Why is it not curving? Yeah, I think that's just not quite enough space there. Maybe if we did it from this direction? Yes, okay. So, what about over here? If we did maybe a sort of bridge over the top. And we're just going to take all the all of the zoning off. So distance too short. Is it really though? No, not really. Distance too short, distance too short. It's really not though, is it? It's 60 odd meters is quite a far distance to go. $70 meters at the further end. Okay. What if we try doing one further down the cliff that comes out on the other side? So, no, we do not want a path on the main road. Maybe we can actually do something like this. No. I mean, that is quite high up. Maybe if we try lowering it. I don't know what the minimum it needs to be is, but 7.5 works. So if we try 7.5 height, let's do the other direction here. Turn off snapping. Right, so then if we just... It's hard to see with all the all the different things connected. If we just did a few... of these connecting in, then potentially we would be able to connect it in. It's just this bit on over here that's going to be a bit of a tricky bit. Hopefully, where we've actually lowered it, that works. That's connected. This is so silly, like, it just won't connect in. So if we take that back to 7.5, that's too low. 8.5, 8.75. Yes. It almost feels like it should be across here though. Let's try taking off the snaps to grid. Right, okay, this is almost where it needs to be. We'll take this one way down here. I don't know why it's so harsh right at the beginning there, but that might be how we need it to be. So if we try just connecting this in, it's tricky, but it's not impossible. Overlapping item. Okay, we don't care about that road because we can rework it. Something like that. Especially if we take off crossings here and here, might have a really positive effect. What we should try though is connecting in that to there. So that's the existing walkway through. I wonder whether we can get this to go underneath, actually. How far under does it need to be? I think that would be a tunnel. And then we can sort of do a nice curve into this one. Something like that might really benefit it because it's giving the Sims or the pedestrians a lot more options for getting from A to B. Unless of course you're on this side. I think we are just going to remove this zoning on the main road. It's slow, but it's flowing. And truth be told, it's flowing a lot better than it was before. I wish it would just allow you to... There we go. Build out the way that you want. People are still crossing here, but hopefully they're noticing that there's a different way round. There's alternate paths. I mean, maybe we can connect this into over here. I mean, it's it's a lot, but how do we snap to this? We have to be up, don't we? Yep. And then what's it even doing? So if we then go down to 0, that provides a, oh my goodness, so many. How many of these? Maybe remove the abandoned ones. It's still troublesome because it's giving the wrong lanes priority. But because we split them out further back, it means that this traffic should be able to go straight through without as much of a problem. In fact, now potentially traffic lights could help. Again, we want to remove pedestrian crossings where we can. Let's give it a try. Traffic lights. It's just a shame that we can't have these be dedicated lanes because stuff in this lane's all turning left. I'm going into all of this. Everything wants to go through down here, doesn't it? Try whacking it up on the speedometer. So now each section of road is getting its own right of way, which is good. Pedestrians are still crossing. It's really interesting because we're taking that off, so they shouldn't be. But they definitely are. I don't know what we can do other than upgrade this road so that there's then 2 lanes in and 2 lanes out. And then if we made this a 3 lane, but to be honest with you, I don't think that's really the problem here. The problem's always been just allowing the flow that we want a bit better. And the pedestrians are not really helping matters. Why they keep going across is beyond me. Why this car's stopped? Apparently it has no passengers. Does that mean the driver is not classed as a passenger? I guess. Oh, it's because that one wanted to do a U-turn there. And so does this one. Right. Why are so many of these doing U-turns? Would it be worth us upgrading this road? Possibly. It looks like the traffic's worked its way through though, but I swear there was a lot more here. Maybe it just removed the traffic forcibly. The bridges over are getting a fair amount of use, which is good. It seems like people respect that the crossings aren't there to the middle. Maybe we just need a crossing over this way. Or maybe even a crossing under or something. Because it's mostly people coming through from this way, going through here. They're literally just crossing regardless. I don't know what we can do to stop that crossing. Because we can't use these. Maybe we could put a path here. So, path there. Similar to what we did on the other side. Do a crossing over using that path through. Maybe we can do something like this as well. Hold on. Let's try that again. So from here, if we try going out and doing one into there, it's fine. We don't want any stuff on this really. I much rather build a road out from, say, here, which is in its own right a little bit horrific, but that would be better in my eyes than having stuff coming to down here. It's a bit of a path jungle. But I think it's having a good effect. So it's a lot of pathing. I'm not too sure whether we want so many paths. Still, stuff goes directly across here. Is it because we have this here? Is that why? Is it like the most direct route? If we take that off, then what happens? We get dribs and drabs. Tell you what though, there's a lot of pedestrians. And that's only ever a good thing because it means that there's less cars on the road. It looks like there's a lot of people coming through this way to go down here. And that's helped the traffic flow hugely. Because now they don't have to wait for pedestrians. I mean, they still do down here. Unfortunately, I don't know what we can do about that. Maybe it's something to do with the alleyway. Maybe the alleyway doesn't respect crossings not being there. So if we try upgrading this road effectively. Let's just move this back over. Let's try redrawing this. Like so. I tell you what, if we have crossings here, as long as it's not off the main road, that should be fine. Because effectively it just reduces the amount of traffic coming down, hopefully. Let's see whether that has a good effect, because it might stop people crossing here and might encourage them to cross there. We just need to keep an eye on what's happening here. So What sort of demand do we have? Medium density, low density. Oh, it's so hard to tell what density is what. Because this is right next to the in fact, let's upgrade this other road. I don't know whether I'd want it there or there. I'd probably want it about there. And let's just get this the right way round. Okay. This is a bit of a nightmare. Let's just take this out so that it doesn't impact it. Kind of want it there, but let's have it there and we'll turn it round. And then if we try bringing that up, no. I don't know why we have a path here other than to, might be to control the actual where the plopping's going. That must be why we had it there. So no, that's not gonna work, is it? This path is not really agreeing with us, so what if we did something a little bit less? Right, that is a very deep tunnel. But if we bring it across and then bring it up a lot further along, that might have a good effect because it actually reduced the amount of building on the main road there. So if we do something like that, let's see what effect that has, especially down here. I'm quietly hopeful this might have a good effect. It's not. It's allowing this stuff through with priority, which is not what we want. Yeah, it's just deleting all the traffic. What can we do? I'll tell you what might be a little bit nicer is if we had... a path going that way. That might encourage them to try and pass through that way rather than crossing here. It looks like 90% of it is going down this way though. What is going on here? Why is there a stop there? Is there a crossing there? This traffic's chaos. I don't understand why so many are doing U-turns here. I mean, it's probably that the nodes are broken. But why would they see that as an optimal path? Also, we've effectively got a massive roundabout here. Why can't they just use the massive roundabout? I don't know. This one's complaining about traffic again. Maybe we need to reduce this side down to one lane. It wouldn't really make sense here, would it? Because we've got two. But that would effectively give it a single lane to go through, which seems to be helping a fair amount. I don't know whether it's just working because traffic's getting removed. I mean, to be fair, we've got a lot of pedestrians, so it might be that it's deciding to go via pedestrian routes instead. I think what I will do is effectively remove any zoning on the roundabout. I'm not too sure what that achievement was for, but alright then. There we go, that should stop any... oh, there's some here. So I'm not actually using these paths, or at least not intending to use these paths for people to walk down. I'm just trying to put in a block to prevent the zoning on here. Might need to do a similar thing in... no, it just won't... I don't want a crossing. Just because I don't want there to be confusing zoning here while we're trying to work all this out. And actually, I mean, it does look like it's really flowing when you look at it like this, doesn't it? It's this bit that's really suffering. Maybe if we reduce that to one lane going through, this to one lane. I mean, it's worked everywhere else. What if we made this one lane? It's almost like this is a bit too... this is quite a large node, I feel. Like the actual intersection. It's working though. Almost. Maybe we just can't have stuff turn right there from Belmont Street up through Linden Street. And to be fair, if we did remove all crossing traffic here, it would help a lot, but then we'll just have people turning around like they are here. I feel like that's due to... yeah. What? What is it doing? Why is it trying to delete that entire thing? I just want to redraw that, but it might not be possible. Stuff seems to be flowing. I mean, if we could provide a much better route down this way. I mean, we've got this area, which is working fairly well. Even with all the crossings there. It's probably because it's lower density stuff, Lower density roads. What on earth has happened here? Even the maintenance vehicles had a crash. Oh. Maybe that's something to do with it. What on earth has happened to this road? My goodness. I'm worried if I remove that, it's not going to allow us to put it back in. But this is causing so many problems. What on earth has happened? Again, traffic down here is a bit of a nightmare. Don't really know what's happened to these paths, but they're working. People are getting to where they need to go. Oh, I really hate all the traffic parked up. Makes it so hard to actually know what's actually happening here. Is this a one-way? No, this car just wants to do a U-turn. Why? Why do so many want to do a U-turn there? Right, let's try this. So put in something like this. I mean, it might be better if we had a road like... Right, I'm literally just putting a node in here. Very sorry for your loss of zoning, but that's absolutely fine with me. 66 employees. Wow, 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 wow. I don't really know what's going on with the road here. I'm just trying to not focus on it too much. Because we've got so many other things that we're trying to work on here. Don't know what's happened to that tunnel. Effectively, it's put oof. Let's just try not to focus on it. Right, I want lower density stuff here. I also don't want it to be just randomly building shapes, so we'll try putting in some fairly similarly sized and shaped stuff here. Wow, it's got 316 passengers waiting. How busy are these lines? Passengers 227. Wow. That's pretty crazy how busy those are. What is going on here? Oh my goodness. That is a lot of passengers. Can we put a bus stop on the... No, we can't. What can we do? In this particular case, I think we just need to remove this crossing. I think the crossing's what's causing the problems here. Look at how busy this is, though. 200 passengers waiting. This only takes 80, and it's filled. It's actually got more people on it than it can carry. Sounds pretty familiar, to be fair. From what I'm used to with buses. Wow, that is super busy. How do we know how busy it is? Like, how do we know where they want to go? 74. 2 passengers here. 209 there. 26 there. 1 there. 22 there. No passengers. No passengers. Maybe that's just literally... This reminds me so much of Mini Metro. The game. Wow, it's super busy, but why... ...34 passengers waiting. How much are these rated for? How many... It doesn't really have a limit. Huh. Okay. Maybe what we need to do is put in some of these bus stations, but they're actually quite large, which means that it's quite a difficult one to place in. Let's just... Oh, stupid freaking... Alright. Can I move you into here? The bus lines, please. What? I want to move the existing line. Is that all of them? I think... Whoa, look at how many people there are! I might actually regret putting that right on the junction. Jeez, look at how many people there are, though. What's the actual baloney? How do the buses get out? Do they reverse out and then go back? Yeah, they do. That's pretty cool. Wow, 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 wow. Wow, wow, wow. Let's add electric bus capacity, I guess, and a taxi stop. That is bananas how busy that is. Hopefully the buses can just get out fairly easily. Look at how busy this is. Don't get me wrong, it's great, but oh my goodness. We don't want this to be traffic lighted, really. I mean, it kind of has to be, but it's causing so much trouble. That actually has done wonders. That already has street lighting. Maybe we can put in a crossing either end of this, and then hopefully people can get to and from here without having to use these crossings. But because it's traffic lighted, they're actually waiting, which is good. These are actually really good. It's a shame that we can't do paths. So from there to there. These paths are great because they're so thin, but I don't think... Oh, hang on, I think that might have actually fit. Proof of pudding. Yes! People can get through. That's actually pretty cool. Maybe if we just continue this through. I don't understand why it's done 2 crossings and not just 1. Maybe if we remove 1, they'll use just 1. This is actually an asymmetrical road. Why don't we do the same down here? What about the crossing though? People are crossing, but where are the traffic lights? Maybe we put those in? That's a bit weird. There isn't a crossing, but people are crossing. To be fair, the stop works a lot better. Because it almost acts like a zebra crossing, if you're familiar with British crossings. So actually stops at a crossing is quite a good thing to do if it works, which doesn't seem to. I don't know why. This one's pretty busy down here. Maybe we need to put the bus further along so it's more centralized. What route is this? It's got passengers, but it doesn't tell me what line. Can we relocate it? Oh, that's a taxi. Oh, okay. Well, if there's a lot of people waiting for a taxi, maybe we should put a bus in. Which makes sense. Like, it's the cemetery, so people are probably paying their respects to those who have passed away. So what sort of bus route should we put in? It's tricky because like I don't want to put. It's annoying that you can't do a bus route down here at the actual like upgrade the train station to have a bus stop in it or a bus station in it. Why do we have stops here? There's no lines on them. And they are bus stops, aren't they? Let's remove those two. Because I don't think they should really be there. I think they should be here. So what is that line? It goes up to here. Maybe it could come down this way. There's another bus line. How many bus lines do we have? We've got bus stop here as well. Doesn't seem like a good spot for it. But it seems to be... Oh, there isn't actually... They're just the bus stops. There isn't actually any lines on the bus stops there. That makes sense. Okay. Cool. Right, so then how many lines do we have on here? Just 2. One that goes between the harbour and the bus line. So let's call that Harbour. Station. Maybe we need to give these better names. Is it Harbour or is it with a U? I thought it was with a U, but maybe that's English versus American spelling or something. I don't know. Whatever. For the sake of consistency, we will go Harbour. Why is there? What is going on here? Injured, waiting for ambulance, neutral. How'd you end up in the water, buddy? Also, what's going on with your feet? That's just a little bit strange. This area is super busy. Look at how busy this is. I wonder why. Where are you all going? What's your destination? Here. You're walking all that way. Is this something to do with car parks? To be fair, I don't think I've put in any car parks, which might be a problem. How do I check car parking availability? I know there's a thing for it. Disaster control. We don't have disaster control. Do be serious. Administration. No. Where's the parking overlay? This one. Actually. Parking availability, capacity 1,700, parked 1,500. And we don't actually have any over here. Yeah, maybe we need to put in some parking. But where? Down here might be a good spot. The problem is that there isn't that much ploppable space here. Maybe we need to raise this land up a little bit. We've got to raise it in order to allow an underground parking spot to go in. So we'll just dig it back out. Hopefully that means that we can then put car parking? No? Yes? Maybe? No, I don't think that's done the trick. Ah, okay. We probably do need to put in some car parking, but how we can do that in the space that we've got, I don't know. Maybe just a small parking lot. Just a small one. There's a road required, but it doesn't realise that there is a road there. Maybe we could just put a small one in around here. Or one that fits the area quite well. That would work quite well. Parking spot. Maybe they can even walk in and out of the area quite nicely. There's no upgrades that you can do here. Which is a bit of a shame. Why do we have so many petrol stations next to the harbour? That's really bizarre. It also looks like, yeah, these could be bigger. Let's put a car park in front of here, shall we? We'll put it next to the crossing and everything. So then hopefully this one will be used for the businesses, this one will be used for the thing, or it'll just use whatever it feels like, really. I can't really control it, to be fair. It's just going to do what it's going to do. Maybe we could put in a small one over here. Overlapping item. Let's remove that path. Then hopefully we can put in some parking around here. Maybe even... It might be a good spot underneath here. Ah, but the pillar's just in the... Ooh! Maybe? Maybe if we turn off snapping. Did that work? It looks like it's connected. Huh. Awesome. Okay, so we got a parking lot there. Maybe we could put a parking lot. I mean, this has quite a lot of... Oh no, that's attractiveness. It only has 10 employees. Maintenance 98%. How do you know how many people are visiting it? Finger in the lick your finger and stick it in the air sort of vibe. What if we put in a car park down here? Prime position, great sort of spot to get some fish and chips and then just munch away watching the world go by. That is what we're going to call it, actually. Chippy parking lot. There we go. That's what you do there. In fact, this similar sort of vibe, isn't it? Chippy. Parking lot. So yeah, we're putting in some parking lots. That one's quite good because it's right next to the elementary school, which is actually huge. What can we do to increase capacity? We've already built it. Great. So we can't do anything about it. It looks like we've already packed that one up as much as we can to try and give it some additional... You know what? This would be a really good spot for a parking lot. If only they weren't huge. Even the large parking lots aren't quite as big. Let's try putting these in. I just want to flatten this area. Ah, we've got a road going underneath there. So that's going to be a bit tricky. So, parking lot. I mean, it fits technically. So, maybe we should control this a little bit because we don't want... Do the paths work to... All I want to do is stop this zoning here. I mean, I'm sure it should be fine. We'll just put a small commercial building there. Tell you what, we haven't connected up these areas, have we? This road across. It's so confusing how they've put in the tunnels, so you can see the tunnels even when you're not really using them. There we go. I don't know whether that's still connected. I want it to be. It looks like it isn't. Hopefully it is. Is that some steps? No. It's stepped, but I don't think it's meant to be. Oh, the person's now turning back. Yeah, that's not really what we wanted. Hold on. Let's take that out. So the path goes down there, and then maybe what we can do is have this... connect in down here somewhere. Something, it works. Let's try continuing this along, actually. Because if we can connect it in over here, that would be a really good way around a lot of the city. So I'm going to take this up to... I think it needs to be 8.7 meters. In fact, I might use the nicer looking bridge here. Oh, it's... What is that icon? Crime scene? Oh my goodness. Hopefully it's not referring to my terrible placement. In fact, maybe that would be preferential to a proper crime. Yeah, if it's a murder, then I feel really bad, hoping that it's not just the way I've placed it. Could you imagine? Just like, sir, I've got some really bad news. Don't worry, it's not the way that this building's been placed here. It's that someone's been murdered or something. Like, jeez. Hopefully, that might actually have a really good effect, because it might allow people to get over to here without having to cross where the roundabout is. Again, these crossings are crazy. Remove them, please. Please remove the crossings. It just won't remove it. I don't know what to do about this. Yeah, it really doesn't look good, does it? Oh. Dear, oh dear. I suppose we could try reducing the road down. So if we did something like... Try building it out from here. Somehow that's allowed. Do something like that. something like that, and then take this road out. I mean, it's still... Oh, what's it doing? No. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. What's it doing? Let's try just removing that for a second. So, if we... Invalid angle. Just doesn't like it. But it likes that. Why? Hold on. It's got to be something to do with this path. I'm sure of it. Okay. Bingo. And now if we take that to be a... a large is a bit overkill here, I think. Maybe medium. It's not great because I think the larger roundabouts actually manage the traffic a bit better, but considering the amount of space that we've got here, I think it's probably better to do that. Do you think maybe the path had something to do with it going a bit crazy? It went a bit haywire, didn't it? Can we actually remove crossings now, though? No. Maybe if we do it at this step. There we go. Crossings removed. We did it. This traffic's still a nightmare. Why is it turning around on itself? What is going on? Is it because it's traffic lighted? Oh, it's because we've got the one car park in the entire city here. Yeah, in hindsight, maybe this isn't a great spot for it. Even like just down here would be better. Yeah, it's actually really popular. Let's move it. Just have a small bit of commercial. Nothing too crazy. Right, if they really want parking, let's sort out parking for them. So, I really want to place one of these big boys. Like, this is super cool. It doesn't tell you how much capacity it has, but I think we've already placed it. Over here. So this has 160 capacity. Whereas the underground, which we've got over here, has 200 capacity. So actually, the underground is way better than the overground one, even though it's a smaller footprint. And the upkeep's only a little bit more. Why is there no parking lot buildings? There isn't really a parking like rating. So there's no way to know whether you've got really good parking or not. Seems about right. Seems about in line with most of the other things that we've seen so far in Cities Skylines too. I'm going to put one here because, oh wow, it's quite centralized, but it is off of the road, so hopefully it will be quite a good spot for it. I reckon this would actually be a really good spot for some mixed residential. I have a good feeling about mixed residential here. Can we get one that's the same length? No? Whatever, we'll settle for one. It's pretty well connected up around here because we've got all these different paths, so hopefully that will become quite a popular place. I forgot how complex we made all of this for the junction. This isn't traffic lighted, is it? No, it's just really, really pedestrianised. We don't want that. I'm going to take that off. No pedestrians here, please. Not that there are any. It just seems a bit much. If anything, we could maybe have them cross here, but then it's quite a fast road going out, 80 mile an hour. Like, we don't want them to get squished. So might not be a good idea to have those roads be available. Okay, cool. Let's continue with parking. So parking seems to be pretty, like, quite a big draw for people to come to the area for some reason. Oh, you can only have one of these, a tower-sized building. How much parking capacity is there? 416, and we've got 418 parking in there. Wow, wow, wow. Wow, wow, wow. Why is this one so popular? Also, is this really where we want it? I mean, it's quite a central position. It's right next to some train station and college. It's got all of these gas stations right next to it. For fuck's sake, I don't understand why. We get the same building over and over and over and over again. It is quite frustrating. Again, petrol station, petrol station, petrol station, petrol station, petrol station, petrol station, textile shop, nonsense vintage, electricals, pharmaceuticals, electricals, food. Why so many petrol stations here? Also, would this be a really good spot for a parking lot? Or is it just me? How much parking do we have here? We do have parking available, and it is quite busy actually. It's actually free parking. It's a bit of a shock. I would not expect us to be doing free parking there, but hey ho. To be honest with you, it might be a really good spot for a bus. Oh, we really don't want to affect the stream, so I'm not going to put it anywhere near there. No, thank you. Not today. Bad memories. Bad memories of stream going wrong. Okay. Again, we don't really have any parking lots up here, do we? Oh, that is also a pedestrianised area. Really bad traffic at this one spot. Oh, we were doing pathing through this area. I mean, really, we should do pathing right through. But we do have that electrical substation, which might be causing problems. Anyway, parking around here. We don't really have, other than this, we don't really have too much. And this is like super busy. I don't understand why it's so busy. Probably because it's the only parking anywhere near this. So if we put in like an underground, because it's a smaller footprint, and it's just better, in my opinion. Underground car parking up here. Maybe even some sort of car park around here. But then that's right where we've put the path. It feels wrong putting car parking instead of homes. Especially where they're quite high-end like homes being right next to the river, I would say. Yeah. Well, we put some parking up here. Hopefully that means that people can get to up here and then go to where they want to go. And they don't have to park on the roads. Not that I don't think that the road parking really works as you'd expect it. I mean, the roads don't really work as you would expect it. I mean, look at all this madness, sheer madness. Maybe it would be better with traffic lights, because then the pedestrians wouldn't just cross. I feel wrong saying that, because every bone in my body feels like it shouldn't be a thing. But actually, the traffic lights stopping the pedestrians is quite effective. Oh, look! We don't have just non-stop... What on earth is this? Macho? Mato? We don't just have loads and loads and loads of petrol stations. I mean, we've got one here. That's more sort of what I'm expecting to see. Maybe it was a bug that's been squashed, because this is a variety over here. Yeah, I think they fixed that bug, whatever it was that was causing the problems there. Cool. Okay, this is a little bit weird, but I'm just ignoring that bit. I tell you what, I think we're just gonna... I'm gonna take a quick break. I will be right back. I think we're gonna take in the sights of Ridgewater, because quite frankly, we've done quite a lot. I mean, yes, it's not the biggest city you'll ever see, but in terms of density, it's quite packed. We've got some problems with high rent over here. That might just be a case of we've got a lot of demand and not much, or not as much capacity as there could be. But to be honest with you, like, there's quite a lot of housing out that way. Anyway, I will be right back. We will continue this in just a minute. Okay, so things seem to be a little bit more reliable on the stream, which is really nice. I don't really know what was causing the problems before, but they seem to have sorted a lot of it out. We have a fair amount of parking getting used down here, and probably going to be more and more as time goes on. And I think we need some parking for over here. I think a really good spot for some parking would be around this area. It's just a shame that we can't. Let's put some there. It's right next to the crossing. It's quite a central position. It's right where there's pathways through, and hopefully it'll get quite a lot of use. I love how they haven't actually fixed the lane arrows, so it looks like everyone's going in the wrong way. In reality, they're actually not. We also have a lot of problems with medical. So we've got a medical clinic down here, but it's not quite coping. I don't think it's a storage patient issue. I think it's more of a vehicle. Vehicles in use, 5 out of 10. Arriving vehicles too. I think we need more capacity, and it might be one that the hospital, I mean it's a lot of money though. The hospital is 775,000 a month. Is this coping again? No, it's not. It's really not. It's just utter chaos. Yeah, I don't think we can get this working the way that we want it to, annoyingly. But yeah, I don't want to focus on that all the time. So I think what we'll try doing is putting in some parking over here, maybe. Oh no, hang on, we put some there, we put some there. That's a fairly good coverage, I think, for this area. Especially when we take into account these other car parks as well. Down here would be quite a good spot for a car park. It's just off this road. Yeah, I'm going to put one on there. I'm going to move this one along so that it's further down this way. There we go. In fact, we could put one underneath here. Ah, it's not quite got the space that it needs to go under there. Oh, that's a shame. It would have been a nice spot for it. So, I think... Why do we have water issues? What? What's going on? I tell you what we really should do. Is get water and stuff imported and exported. Okay, so we're getting water in.
This is an emergency broadcast to all citizens. The Fire and Rescue Service reports that fires are currently spreading in the nearby
There's fire.
forest. The Billowing clouds of smoke pose a serious health risk to anyone nearby. At
There's
this
a
time,
fire.
all citizens in the affected area
Alert.
are instructed to
Alert.
immediately move to a safe distance until the situation is under control.
There's a fire. There's one fire here. Careful, everyone. Keep your distance. You know, keep your distance from this fire. Stupid thing. I don't know. What are we gonna do, eh, Ratchet? He doesn't know either. He just purrs. As long as he's happy, that's the main thing. What's up, sweetie? Hmm? I'm hoping, though, we're getting some traffic through, and we are down this way, so that's good. Obviously, it's still early days. We're still building things up around here. It's just there's so many bits and bobs that you just need to try and take care of. How can we improve the waiting for a hearse when we have a cemetery, we have a crematorium, maybe another hearse garage? Vehicles in use, 1 out of 20. Well, only 1 of the 20 are actually being used. This one is going out. It looks like maybe everyone's getting buried rather than getting cremated. I don't know what we can do about that if these just aren't gonna send cars out to these. This is a bit of a nightmare, isn't it? In terms of traffic flow. Yeah, it's pretty bad, and actually it's quite high volume. So I'm wondering what we could do instead. I'm open to suggestions. I think it's quite nice what we've done with having different roads coming through different ways here. It's a bit of a shame that we don't have another place where traffic can come across. I mean, really, downtown doesn't continue over too much, so we could probably fill up that area pretty well. We could maybe bring it in here, but again, we've got this road here. I mean, this road doesn't necessarily have to be connected. We could have this continue through. That could be a way around it. Then have another connection over here. Considering all of this is pretty busy, it would be a good way to do it. So what I'm suggesting is if we take that out, maybe we just try moving this back a little bit. It's not perfect, but it almost feels like if you make it perfect on one end, the other end suffers. Something like that might work. Right, so then if we don't allow buildings to go on here... Ratchet, stop trying to eat my microphone. Right, if we took a 5-lane asymmetrical road from... Does it have to be 10 meters to go across? How low can it go? Even 7.5 can go over a basic road. Okay, let's just remove that. The paths... don't know about the paths. But I reckon we could probably do a quite nice complex curve one here. Overlapping invalid shape. Is it just because there's a building here? Is that literally... There we go. Do a similar thing here. So if we then try and go across here with a 4-lane road. It was at 7.5, wasn't it? That seems to work. Okay. So if we click there and put that in like so, it might be worth us putting in a roundabout here. So if we try maybe like a medium, or a large roundabout here, we could probably get away with using 5-lane asymmetrical roads in. So then that should at least allow the traffic to separate out using the various different lanes. In fact, it's not. That's interesting. It's got dedicated left lanes, which is not normally what you see here in this game from what I've experienced. So that's quite nice, actually. I hope that is gonna be the case going forward. It might just be that they've tweaked how traffic works a bit. Let's try that. These 5-lane roads are pretty awesome. And then if we split this in half, we could have another Oh, no, that's way too big. 5-lane. Split. That actually gives a dedicated right-hand lane then. Which is really good. Looks like pedestrians are the problem. They can't actually cross from the road into the car park because of pedestrians crossing here. And I'm not saying that they should just go straight through, but maybe there needs to be a bit of a better way to... Wow, it's got like a glow. Oh look, you can see the actual cars in there. Maybe we just need a bit of a better spot for this. If we were to check car parking, yeah, there's definitely better spots for it. Like even down here would be really nice. I reckon if we moved it down here, it's quite a small footprint for what it is. It would do really quite well. We have paths there, don't we? Let's do it. So hopefully the paths will allow people to get to and from here quite easily. I'm hoping this road will start to see quite a lot of use. At the moment, it looks like traffic's stuck down here. Is it all trying to go into the... I see. Could we maybe, like, split the node here? And then have it go down to 2 lanes afterwards. Will it be smart enough to recognize that that's like a dedicated road for it? Don't think so. Maybe we just did it a bit too close. Maybe if we do it further down. So it's definitely like right in front of it. So this turns into like a dedicated traffic. Yes! This is exactly what you need. Let's just do wider sidewalks here so that there's no parking. I just wonder whether they would actually recognize that the other lanes for continuing through. Genuinely don't know. This is all traffic lighted. Do we want that? Let's try it without. Let's see whether it has a bit of a better effect. Once stuff starts to work out where it's going, it might start to flow a bit better, because we've almost given the car park here a dedicated lane to go in to it. Although some don't necessarily care. It's a shame that there isn't a way to see what traffic is actually coming to this spot. We could also, considering it's in quite a high... Oh my goodness, look at all the hearse problems. Okay, now it's got 7 out of 20 getting used, but I just wish it would use all 20. Is this actually getting any use? Genuinely don't know whether people are going to it or not, because you can't actually see who's there. This is cleaned up, although people are doing U-turns instead. Has that seriously fixed all this? Are people recognizing it as a dedicated lane for the car park? I hope they do. What? I think it might be partly to do with pedestrians crossing, you know? So if we put... don't know about that one. Give it a try. Let's try traffic lights on them. Especially on these roads. It should just try and reduce how much traffic's coming through here. Potentially. Again, pedestrians crossing are causing a bit of a nightmare for the actual traffic going into the car parks. But it looks like the stuff using the car park is using that extra lane. Okay, cool. Well, hopefully having a bit of a better connection out this way has also helped get traffic to where it needs to go. I mean, I can't say with too much surety because a lot of it's just going straight through. I would imagine the traffic that actually was coming down this way might see this as a bit of a better route. I mean, that's what I think it is. So I'm hoping it will be. Seen as such. But I tell you what we do have. We have a whole load of spots to buy. So how's car parking looking now? We've got a fair amount of car parking. Might be good to put some, say, up here. out the way off the main roads. And then if we put a path through, that should link these two areas quite well. And actually we've got this path here as well, don't we? Underneath. So we could make some use of that. Let's see whether that helps. I know that we've still got hearse issues, but I mean, if we've got 20 vehicles and none are being used, I don't really know what we can do. This is definitely selected to the waterfront. Unless it's sort of a traffic issue, like if it can't get from here to here due to traffic, which I can kind of understand, especially with this lot. But everywhere else is pretty much clear. It looks like we've done a really good job with clearing through a lot of the traffic. It's just that traffic coming through here because we've got the high density residential, but I think I'm going to leave this one here. We've done a hell of a lot to improve things, and while it's not necessarily the most functional, I quite like what we've done here because we've really sort of turned it into more of a sort of roundabout than anything. But yeah, I think I'm going to leave this one here. If there's anything that you've seen that you'd like me to improve upon, then let me know in the comments. But until next time, have a great